for coming out. And thank you for being part of a movement that's going to put America on the right track again. You know, the American people are right. They are right consistently. We'll just listen to them. They want a lawful system of immigration that serves the national interest. What's wrong with that? We've had politicians promise for 30 years they're going to fix this system and have never done it, and Donald Trump will build the wall and fix it. Well, this movement is dealing with a lot of issues, but there's another issue, and that's jobs and wages. If you bring in more workers than we have jobs for, don't we reduce wages and make Americans unemployed? That's one of the things that's happening. That's why wages have declined significantly. Also, bad trade deals that close our high-paid manufacturing facilities. Doesn't that eliminate good jobs and result in lower wages for the average American out there today? It absolutely does, and Donald Trump understands both of those. He stood up for you, he stood up for America against the establishment, and been correct and to advocate for reform in both of those areas. Now, let me ask you one more thing. If you believe, like overwhelmingly Americans do, that the country is on the wrong track, that changes need to be made, as I believe and you believe, do you believe Hillary Clinton has the will, the strength, the determination, or the knowledge to change this country? That is exactly right. She thinks things are fine as they are, much less having the will or the determination to take on this powerful establishment that has run our country too long. We need a strong person with clear values who will stand and fight for us. And Donald Trump is that person, in my opinion. Now, friends, that's kind of how I came to decide early on to support Donald Trump. And I believe what I've seen of him in the last few days as we've traveled together and seen polls start moving significantly in his direction, the big crowds that are occurring like this one all over the country. Don't tell me something isn't happening. Something big is happening. The people are taking their country back. And well, they should. Well, our next speaker is a man that's very close to Donald Trump. They've known each other for many years. Rudy Giuliani. Of the American Republic. I had the honor to serve under him in the Reagan administration, and he knows more about how to make our nation and our cities safe than anybody in this country. Colleagues and friends, welcome our mayor, Rudy Giuliani.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you. Thank you. You just heard from one of the most knowledgeable and one of the best United States senators that we're lucky to have, not just for the state of Alabama, but for the whole country. There are not too many that understand the issues and fight hard for the people like Jeff Sessions. So let's give him a big hand. And I've known Jeff since he's a little boy. just like I've known Donald Trump for 28 years and can tell you what kind of man he is. He's not the man that they're viciously attacking on television. He's a very, very good man. He's a man who's built a tremendous empire, financial empire, but he still respects immensely the carpenter, the bricklayer, the plumber. His father taught him that, and he never forgot it. He knows that his success didn't come just because of him. He knows it came by building a great team, from the person who's the entry-level employee to picking the very best executives. That's how he built what he built. And by the way, he was the first person in the construction industry to appoint women to high executive positions. He's a man who's brought up a wonderful family, and you've gotten to see them and you've gotten to know them. That tells you an awful lot about what kind of man he is when you see his children and what they're like. And it tells you a lot, and I'm going to tell you, over the 28, 29 years that I've known him, I've mostly been involved in law enforcement in one way or another. Even being mayor of New York was kind of like law enforcement, right? So I'm surrounded by police officers, and every time Donald Trump comes up to see me, whether we're having dinner or on a golf course, or first people he says hello to are my police officers. And they all love him. They love him. He has the right values. And he's exactly the right man for the time that we have now today. And you know, God has been very good to America. We should say that humbly, and we should say that every morning that we get up, that we're so lucky that God made it so that we were born in the United States of America. And you're darn right. I want to say something for the media that's covering this. Do you think that Hillary Clinton can produce a crowd with this kind of enthusiasm? I can think of only one really enthusiastic crowd that would gather for Hillary Clinton. A grand jury. Unfortunately, the Department of Justice that I served for more of my life than I did anything else, I held the lowest position and one of the highest positions in the Justice Department, and I love the Department of Justice. I gave a lot of my life to it, prosecuted the mafia, prosecuted Colombian drug cartel people, prosecuted Wall Street criminals, prosecuted corrupt politicians of both parties, Republican and Democrat, by the way. I gave a lot of my life to the Justice Department. And my Justice Department now I am embarrassed of, and I believe it's been made into a disgrace by their refusal to handle the case against Hillary Clinton like they would handle the case against you. This, I am more than willing to predict, when the history of our day is written, the scandal you are watching unfold is going to be like the Teapot Dome scandal was in the 1920s, and maybe bigger. It's going to be bigger than Watergate. Nixon had to leave office, and he did a lot of bad things, but he wasn't raking in millions and millions of dollars through a phony charity. I'm not sure how much money was involved in the Teapot Dome, but I bet it couldn't have been too much more than the hundreds of millions of dollars the Clintons have been getting and turning the State Department into a pay-for-play operation. Back in the 20s and in the Nixon era, well, you couldn't destroy emails because there were no emails. And I guess Nixon just wasn't as shrewd as Hillary. He never destroyed those tapes. Nixon didn't destroy the tapes. He kept them. You know what the Clintons must be saying? What a jerk that Nixon was. You want to know how to really be a criminal, you destroy the evidence. I mean, this, to me, as someone who has grown up in law enforcement, I am outraged at what I see. I am outraged at what I see. Crime after crime after crime after crime after crime after crime. These are not just unusual things that she did. These are not just stupid things that she did. These are not just accidental things that she did. This is a woman who has committed numerous serious federal felonies. She has lied under oath. She has lied to the public, and I have no doubt she lied to the FBI. She exposed to all of our enemies some of the most secret information that we possess, which is the reason why it's redacted now. And even a senator like Senator Sessions can't get to see it because it's so secret. She exposed that on her server for China, for Russia, for Iran, for Al-Qaeda, for ISIS, or for any good hacker to get. And she put the lives of American operatives in jeopardy by doing that. The director of the FBI, although I disagree with his conclusion, I believe she should have been indicted. I agree with his findings, which is that she was extremely careless in handling top secret information. And now we are being asked to elect as our president someone who is extremely careless in handling national security information. Do they think we're stupid? Yes, they do. The Clintons have always thought we were stupid because we let them get away with it before. This is like a bad child, and you don't punish them for their first crime. And then they commit, boy, what they were doing back in Arkansas, whoa. Man. She's with the Rose Law Firm. He's the governor. You got to go to the Rose Law Firm to get a contract with the state, and everybody in Arkansas knew it. Everybody in Arkansas knew it. And a compliant press didn't cover it the way it should. And they got positive reinforcement. So what they were doing in Arkansas, that was like minor league baseball compared to where they are now. Now they're in the major leagues. Now they're getting $30 million from a money launderer, $40 or $50 million from dictators in countries in which women are not allowed to drive, in which women are not allowed to appear in public dressed the way they want, in which women are oppressed. And she's a feminist? Give me a break. Who paid them to you? What a bunch of phonies. Wow. You literally, as I analyze this with these new revelations day after day after day, you literally can't tell where the Clinton Foundation ends and the Justice Department begins. You want something from the State Department? You pay a lot of money to the Clinton Foundation. You throw in a big speaking fee for Bill, and then you get from the State Department what you want. You get the meeting with the ambassador to Lebanon. You get Hillary to intervene with the Internal Revenue Service so that thousands and thousands and thousands of identities the government was seeking from Switzerland aren't sent. She directly intervened in that case. That alone is a federal felony. Intervening in an IRS investigation. All by itself is a federal felony, and she traveled to Geneva and committed it. Not this Justice Department, because this Justice Department is a disgrace. It has a different standard for her because she's the Democratic nominee for president. Now let's talk about Donald Trump. So here's what he's going to do. He's going to change direction. She's more of the same and worse. Because I'll tell you, I believe deep down somewhere, Barack Obama has to be saying, why did I ever appoint a Secretary of State? Because I have a lot of disagreements. I have a lot of disagreements with Barack Obama's policies. I think his foreign policy has been terrible. I think his domestic policy on Obamacare have hurt us dramatically. But I believe he's an essentially honest man. I do. Okay, we can disagree. I know that the Clintons are not essentially honest. And I think he's sitting there saying, boy, I ruined my legacy by appointing her Secretary of State, because when the history of this administration is written, it's going to be overshadowed. By the Hillary Clinton pay-for-play State Department and what she did. Donald Trump will change that. He'll change that. He'll make sure that he appoints people to office who, when they promise that they're not going to do something as she did, don't do it. They will not be people who need the job. There will be people who are the best people for the job. He will bring jobs back. Nobody in this country knows better than Donald Trump how to create more and better jobs. This administration has presided over an economy in which we've lost jobs, we've lost people from the workforce. Even the people who have jobs haven't seen a raise in 8 years or 9 years or 10 years. And there are reasons for that. And here's how Donald Trump is going to change it. First, he's going to renegotiate our trade deals so they're favorable to the United States of America. That will bring a lot of jobs back to America. Second, we'll get to that.